Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your one channel for everything VR related. Today, we're taking a look at VTOL VR. VTOL is a combat flight simulator that recently released after almost 3 years in early access. You could pick it up on Steam for $30 and it's absolutely worth that asking price. VTOL is an absolutely amazing and unique experience, but it might not be for everyone, so you need to know what you're getting into. Flight simulators by nature are quite complex, and VTOL is no exception. I tried to skip tutorials and brute force my way into flying a plane, resulting in pretty expected and hilarious results. VTOL puts you in the cockpit of 3 distinct fighter planes, including an AV-42C, an FA-26B, and an F-45A. Piloting these beasts will take a lot of practice. Luckily, the game gives you tutorial missions for every single vehicle, and then there are separate campaign missions. Now, this isn't a story-driven campaign, it's just a series of missions, each with multiple objectives. But this ends up equating to an extreme amount of gameplay time. There's also Steam Workshop support, where users can create their own objectives and levels, but you might end up spending tens of hours just mastering the basics. From what I've read in comparison to reality, VTOL simplifies the controls to the point of what would normally take a pilot weeks to learn down to only days. So while the game does a great job of giving you an accurate representation, it's not equally complex to what you would see in reality. Which makes sense because after about only 4 hours, I felt fairly comfortable in free flight mode, meaning I knew how to take off, fly around, and safely land. I've even performed some successful vertical landings, albeit at an extremely slow pace. I'm still yet to master the complexities of the radar system, some of the aerodynamics, and that amazing weaponry. So you can equip your planes with pretty insane and realistic weaponry. I know basically nothing about these weapons, so I just equip whatever costs the most. There are missions where you will be engaging ground targets, and others where you will have in-air dogfights. And this is VTOL in a nutshell. You get fairly realistic representations of fighter planes, you learn to control them, and use them in action. Overall, it is absolutely amazing. But if you're looking for more instant gratification, you don't want to spend hours learning how to fly the vehicles, and you want more arcadey style combat, well then VTOL is just not for you. But if you do take the time in this game, it is truly rewarding. When you first get in the cockpit, you always feel like you're 2 seconds away from killing yourself. One minor mistake, like cutting the throttle too much, can easily result in a crash until you learn to really read all of your instruments and get a nice feel for flying. You'll also most likely make your character pass out while flying the FA-26B because you want to pull some movie-style Top Gun maneuvers. Well, the human body doesn't like when you start pulling things like 6+ Gs, which in reality would make the average person instantly weigh over 1,000 pounds. Now, I do have some minor gripes about the controls, the lack of HOTAS support, and the graphics to some extent, but in truth, I'm nitpicking here. The toggle switches do not give the best VR tactile sensation. They are a bit sticky in nature, meaning you hover over them, then click the trigger and your hand kind of glues to them. I also accidentally leave the throttle in an unintended position by either gripping it or releasing it earlier or later than I intended. The graphics, while in flight, look pretty fantastic. You get to ride off into an amazing sunset, but the cockpits look a little cartoony, and the poorly animated soldiers and low detailed cities definitely stand out. Overall, it doesn't have too much impact on the experience and only mildly breaks the immersion. But if you have any interest in a VR flight simulator, VTOL is definitely worth checking out. Just know what you are getting into. You're gonna fail a lot. It's gonna take a lot of practice to learn simple maneuvers. And this is not Top Gun. Now, this title actually blew me away because I have very little interest in flight simulators. After 30+ years of gaming, you've formed your preferences and you know which genres just aren't for you. So when a game that's outside of my preferred genre list impresses me, it's a huge deal. Now again, I don't think it's for everyone, but maybe I'm wrong because the nearly 2,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam makes it look like everyone is indeed enjoying this game. So if you're looking for a new VR title, one that's challenging and you could spend a lot of time in, here it is guys, go check out VTOL VR. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And as always, I will see you guys on next time.